Have you ever wondered if missing just one small part of your daily wash could quietly affect your health? Not today, not tomorrow, but slowly, silently, over the years? Most of us have been showering the same way for decades. We wash our arms, legs, maybe shampoo twice a week and call it done. But what if I told you there are hidden places on your body, places that almost no one talks about, that when left unwashed can weaken your immune system, strain your heart, and even steal your energy before the day begins? In today's video, I'm going to share 5 often overlooked parts of the body that older women, just like us, tend to neglect without even realizing it. But here's the truth. By giving just a few extra minutes of care to these places each day, we can feel fresher, move easier, and possibly even live longer. This isn't about perfection. It's about quiet protection for your body, your independence, and your peace of mind. And I promise the last one will surprise you. Let me tell you a story. There's a woman I know named Lillian, 72, widowed, living alone in a little blue house with lace curtains and a cat named Dottie. Lillian isn't the type to complain. She raised 3 kids, worked until she was 68, and still tends her garden every morning. But for months, something had been off. She felt tired all the time. Food didn't taste the same. She brushed her teeth, used mouthwash, even bought new vitamins. Nothing helped. Then one morning, while watching a video on her tablet with her tea, she heard someone mention something strange. The tongue. That most people never clean it properly. And that bacteria on the tongue could cause everything from bad breath to low immunity. She thought, surely not. I brush every day. But curiosity got the better of her. She ordered a tongue scraper online. The first time she used it, she was shocked. The second time, she felt her tea tasted better. And by the end of the week, she told me she felt just a little lighter, like her body wasn't fighting something anymore. That tiny shift, it reminded her that health doesn't always come from big things. Sometimes it's in the overlooked, the quiet, the hidden. And that's what today is all about. Let's take a closer look, man, right now. 1. The tongue, a silent gate to heart health. If someone asked you, what part of your body quietly connects to your heart? Your mind might go straight to arteries or blood pressure, but here's the surprising truth. It could very well be your tongue. I know, it sounds odd. The tongue? That soft, unassuming muscle we barely think about? But the older I get, the more I believe in the wisdom of paying attention to small things. You see, for decades I brushed my teeth every morning and every night. I flossed, swished with minty mouthwash, and thought I was doing everything right. But I never once thought about cleaning my tongue. It wasn't until I had a visit with Dr. Adler, a gentle soul who's been treating seniors for over 30 years, that I even heard the phrase tongue hygiene. He said to me softly, "Your tongue is a sponge. Every little ridge and crease holds on to bacteria, food particles, dead skin. Over time, if that buildup isn't removed, it doesn't just sit there. It can travel quietly into your gums, into your bloodstream, and for older folks, even affect your heart health." That stopped me. Because when you've lived long enough, you learn that it's not always the big things that wear you down. Sometimes it's the tiny things you can't see. Research has shown that up to 80% of bad breath cases originate from the tongue, not the teeth, not the gums. But beyond the smell, that buildup of bacteria can cause chronic inflammation, which experts now link to a higher risk of heart disease, stroke, and lowered immunity. For older women, especially those already managing conditions like diabetes or high blood pressure, this matters a lot. Let me tell you about Linda, my neighbor of 15 years. Sweet lady, full of stories and laughter, but always a little self-conscious. She told me her mouth felt tired all the time, that food tasted flat, and no matter how much she brushed, she still felt off. Then one day, at a community health fair, someone gave her a free tongue scraper and explained how to use it. She tried it for 2 weeks. The change was immediate. Her breath was fresher. Her morning tea tasted like it used to. But more than that, she felt lighter. "It's like my body isn't fighting something anymore," she said. And I knew exactly what she meant. Cleaning your tongue isn't fancy, just a gentle scrape, back to front, with a proper scraper or a soft toothbrush, twice a day, followed by a rinse with warm water or alcohol-free mouthwash. That's it. But it can change the way you feel from the inside out. "We don't clean our tongue just to avoid bad breath," I once told my granddaughter. "We do it because every quiet corner of our body deserves care, even the ones no one sees." And speaking of places we often forget, let's talk about something that supports us every single day, but rarely gets the care it deserves: our feet. 2. Feet, the foundation of independence. They say you never really appreciate your feet until they start hurting. I used to think foot care meant nothing more than slipping on socks or trimming a toenail every now and then. But over the years, I've learned that our feet are far more than tools to walk on. They are the quiet guardians of our independence. You see, when you reach a certain age, losing your balance doesn't just mean a stumble. It means fear. The fear of falling, of needing help, of becoming less mobile than you used to be. And often it all begins with the way we care, or don't care, for our feet. A quick rinse in the shower isn't enough. Dirt, sweat, and bacteria love hiding between toes, especially when shoes create that warm, moist environment. That's why fungal infections are so common in older adults. Athlete's foot, cracked heels, even toenail fungus, and there's more. Our feet are often the first to show signs of poor circulation. Cold toes, numbness, cuts that take forever to heal. For someone managing diabetes or heart conditions, ignoring these warning signs can be dangerous. I'll never forget my friend Alice, who's 72 now, a sweet woman who used to dance every Friday at the senior center. Then one winter she developed a small blister that she ignored. Weeks passed, it got infected, the swelling took away her balance, and the saddest part, she stopped dancing altogether. What helped her get back on her feet, literally, was something simple, a daily ritual. Warm water, gentle soap, pat drying every toe, moisturizing her heels, checking for changes. She even bought a little stool to sit while caring for her feet. Said it made her feel in control again. We often think independence comes from big things: driving, remembering our meds, cooking meals. But the truth is, it begins with small acts of care. Washing and checking your feet each day is not vanity. It's self-respect. We don't care for our feet to make them pretty, I told a neighbor once. We care for them because they carry everything we are: memories, love, and the life we still want to live. Now, after years of ignoring this part of my body, I find peace in the ritual, just 5 minutes each night. And I wake up steadier, stronger, and more confident. And now, let's shift our attention upward to a place that's working hard, hidden under our arms, that most people forget completely: the armpits. 3. Armpits, the forgotten detox zone. We often think of our armpits as just a place that gets sweaty or needs deodorant. But the truth is, they're one of the most hardworking and misunderstood parts of our body. When I was younger, I didn't give them a second thought. A swipe of deodorant and I was on my way. But over time, especially after my 60s, I started experiencing irritation, little red bumps, and sometimes even a tender ache I couldn't explain. That's when my doctor, a wise woman in her 70s herself, gently reminded me, your underarms are part of your lymphatic system. They help your body get rid of toxins. If they're not clean, your detox system gets blocked. That made me pause. You see, our armpits hold clusters of lymph nodes, like little filters that catch and clear toxins from our body. But when we skip proper cleaning, when we let deodorant and sweat build up, those filters get clogged. The result? A weaker immune system, inflammation, and more stress on our body than we realize. I once met a lovely woman named Joan at a community wellness talk. She had suffered from recurring rashes under her arms for years and thought it was just sensitive skin. Turned out it wasn't her skin, it was the harsh deodorants she'd used and years of not actually washing the area properly. Now she uses a simple homemade mixture once a week, a little baking soda, apple cider vinegar, and warm water to gently detox the area. She told me, "My skin feels calm again, and I feel cleaner, not just fresher. Washing our armpits isn't just about fighting odor. It's about letting this part of our body do what it was designed to do, help us heal." Every evening, I take a few minutes to gently cleanse that area with a soft cloth, warm water, and a mild soap. I move in circles, give it time, and let my skin breathe before I reapply anything. It feels like a quiet act of self-respect. As I often say, we don't cleanse just to remove dirt. We do it to uncover the quiet power our body still holds. And now that we've honored this often overlooked part of ourselves, let's move just a little higher to the place where we breathe in the world, our nose. 4. Nose, the first gatekeeper of breath. Have you ever thought about how many times a day you breathe through your nose without realizing it? Around 20,000 breaths every single day. Quiet, steady, dependable. And yet, this small part of our face, our nose, is one of the most overlooked when it comes to daily care. When I was younger, I never gave it much thought either. But as the years passed, I started waking up feeling stuffy, tired, and oddly foggy, like the world was moving, but my head was stuck in cotton. I blamed the weather, then allergies. But nothing helped until a friend gently asked, "Do you ever clean your nose properly?" That question changed everything. The nose isn't just there to smell roses or detect when cookies are burning in the oven. It's our body's first gatekeeper, the first barrier that protects our lungs and bloodstream from dust, allergens, bacteria, and pollution. Tiny hairs and mucus inside the nose trap harmful particles before they can travel deeper. But if we don't regularly cleanse it, that protective system gets overwhelmed. Especially for those of us over 60, where immunity isn't as sharp and airways aren't as elastic as they once were. Keeping nasal passages clear can make the difference between sleeping soundly or tossing in frustration, between catching a cold or staying well all winter. Take my neighbor, Carol, 72. She had been battling allergies for over a decade, sneezing, watery eyes, that awful post-nasal drip. Her doctor prescribed sprays and pills, but the real breakthrough came when she started using a simple saline rinse every night. Just salt water, nothing fancy. Within 2 weeks, she was sleeping better. Her sinuses cleared. "It's like someone opened a window inside my head," she laughed. "I didn't know breathing could feel this easy." A warm rinse. A few deep breaths over a pot of steam. Even gently massaging the sides of the nose to help drainage. These little things may seem insignificant, but they are a quiet form of self-respect, of honoring the vessel we live in. And here's something no one tells you. A congested nose can actually reduce how much oxygen your brain gets. That can cause dizziness, memory fog, even increase fall risks. Cleaning your nose daily helps ensure your body gets the air it needs to thrive. It's a hidden key to energy, balance, and mood. And it's not just about preventing problems. It's about improving quality of life. Imagine waking up and feeling clear-headed. Imagine sleeping without snoring, without that dry mouth from breathing through your mouth all night. It's possible. It's real. And it begins with something as small and sacred as a breath. We don't cleanse to be perfect. We cleanse to keep open the path between us and life itself. And now, With breath flowing free and clear, let's turn our attention to one of the most unexpected, yet important places on our body that often gets ignored for decades, the belly button. 5. Belly button, a hidden spot full of silent risks. It's a tiny part of our body, so small we barely notice it unless something goes wrong. But the truth is, our belly button, that quiet, tucked away spot, can silently gather more trouble than we think. When I was younger, I never gave it a second thought. I cleaned what I could see, brushed my teeth, washed my face, maybe even scrubbed my feet. But the belly button, it felt too small to matter. That was until I developed a faint, persistent itch. Nothing painful, just an odd smell. When I finally mentioned it to my doctor during a routine checkup, she smiled kindly and said, "It's more common than you think." You see, the belly button is a dark, warm, moist little pocket. That makes it the perfect hiding place for sweat, dead skin cells, lint from clothes, and bacteria. If we ignore it day after day, those things build up, and slowly they turn into irritation, odor, or even infection. For older adults especially, this becomes more serious. Our skin gets thinner. Healing takes longer. A small irritation can become an open wound. What starts as a harmless oversight could turn into something that limits our comfort or even our mobility. Take Helen, 75. A quiet, gentle woman who always kept her home spotless. One day, she noticed her belly button was red and slightly swollen. She thought it was just dry skin, but it turned out to be a mild bacterial infection from years of neglect. Her doctor explained that it had nothing to do with being unclean, just unaware. Since then, Helen includes it in her daily cleansing routine. A soft cloth, warm water, gentle soap. Nothing fancy, but powerful in its simplicity. There's a quiet dignity in caring for even the smallest parts of ourselves. It sends a message deep within. You still matter, every part of you. Cleaning your belly button doesn't need to be complicated. Just a few seconds each day with warm water and mild soap. Avoid cotton swabs or anything sharp. The skin there is delicate. And always dry the area well, because moisture is what invites bacteria to stay. Once a week, you might use a bit of witch hazel or rubbing alcohol to wipe gently and keep things balanced. It's not about being perfect. It's about living in harmony with our own body. Especially as we age, those small choices, the ones no one sees, are often the most powerful. They help us stay independent, comfortable, and confident. We don't cleanse to impress others. We do it to remind ourselves we're still here, still worthy of care. Now that we've cared for this quiet little place, let's move on to something even deeper. A reflection of what's happening inside, the connection between breath, rest, and peace of mind. 3. Forgotten areas that deserve gentle care. There are places on our body that we clean out of habit, our hands, our face, our teeth. But there are also those quiet corners, ones we rarely speak of, maybe because they seem too small, too hidden, or too private. Yet sometimes it's exactly those places that need our tenderness the most. The first, behind the ears. It sounds simple, doesn't it? But the truth is, the skin behind our ears secretes oils that easily trap sweat, dirt, and even hair product residue. Over time, this can create an unpleasant smell, even irritation. I remember a dear friend, Joan, who once thought she had an infection in her ear, but it turned out to be a buildup of old oils and dead skin right behind it. A soft cloth, a gentle touch. That was all it took to restore comfort. The second, under the breasts. For many women, especially after 60, this becomes a place of quiet discomfort. The skin folds here are warm and often moist, especially in summer or after light activity. And because it's not in plain sight, we may forget to cleanse it properly. But when sweat and friction meet, it can lead to redness, chafing, even fungal rashes. Using a gentle cleanser, patting dry with a soft towel, and perhaps a little cornstarch-based powder can help keep this area peaceful. And more importantly, dignified. Because no one talks about it, but many women feel ashamed when irritation appears here. You're not alone. And the third, between the toes. Yes, we wash our feet, but do we separate each toe? Do we dry them fully afterward? Fungus loves the cozy spaces we ignore, and between the toes is one of its favorite spots. One simple change, taking an extra 30 seconds after your shower to dry between every toe, can prevent months of discomfort later. Your feet carry you through life. They deserve that small ritual of care. You see, these are not just hygiene tips. They're whispers to the soul, reminders that we are still worthy of attention, of care, of presence in our own skin. It's not about cleaning what others see. It's about honoring what we feel. When we tend to these hidden places, we're not just preventing infection or odor. We're building a quiet relationship with our own body, one that says, I see you. I won't forget you. And now that we've honored the hidden, let's step forward and look at a small daily action that brings deep, lifelong peace, one breath at a time. There's something quietly powerful about the small, invisible choices we make every day. Whether it's cleaning behind our ears, caring for our feet, or gently wiping down the kitchen counter before bed. These aren't chores. They're daily acts of devotion, not just to a home, but to ourselves. You see, no one applauds you for wiping the doorknob or for scrubbing a corner of the sink that no one else even notices. But that's not why you do it. You do it because you know that peace begins in the details, and that a calm home begins with one clear moment where your hands move with purpose and your heart feels heard. So often, especially as we grow older, the world grows louder, but our needs grow softer. We no longer want perfection. We crave harmony. We don't need grand gestures. We just want to feel safe, comfortable, and quietly proud of the life we've built. That's why everything we talked about today, from the tongue to the toes, from the quiet corners of the house to the forgotten parts of the body, they matter. Not because anyone else will notice, but because you will. And you deserve to walk through your space and your life feeling clean, dignified, and quietly held. We don't declutter to throw things away. We do it to keep only what gives back to our soul. So here's a gentle invitation. Try just one of these habits this week. Maybe it's wiping your feet before bed, or maybe it's finally giving your belly button the care it's waited decades for. Whatever it is, let it be a gift, not a task. Let it be a way to say, I still matter and I still care. And now, I'd love to hear from you. Which part of today's video touched you most? Is there a small habit you've been doing for years that quietly brings you peace? Share it in the comments. Your story might be exactly what another woman needs to hear today. If this video reminded you of your strength, your grace, or your quiet wisdom, please consider subscribing. It helps us keep making content that honors women like you, wise, warm, and wonderfully human. Take care, dear friend. And remember, the smallest acts of care are sometimes the ones that whisper loudest to the heart.